Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, fairly normal agenda, but I thought we'd kind of do it as like a little bit of a year in review, and then talk about what we'll be working on, or would be interested, I guess, in working on next year. Added the township planning support. I've just been having a couple emails on, I guess the township is budgeted to work with a planner next year. We'll talk about more of that as we go on, but how we can support that effort. And then a more general open discussion on the EAB 2026 projects, kind of carrying forward from our meeting last month, and then of course the normal social media posts, and if the township has anything to share. So, any comments on the agenda, or any comments from the public?
I guess since I'm the only public here, I wanted to thank Andy for his 6 years of service and kind of picking up the reins when I met him at the Township Day. I guess that would have been 6-7 years ago. And you joined us the following year, or whatever.
It was like months later. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you actually jumped in that quickly.
Yeah.
So here's this public guy with his family, kids, and wife, and they come by, and he browses our table and looks at our literature. I wasn't sure exactly what drew you to it, but then I said, if you're interested, we could use some, help. So you drew interest, and then you joined us. So I just want to thank you for all that and supporting the environmental board the way you have with your experience of project management and engineering background and sustainability. You did a lot with full life cycle analysis. You and I worked on the energy transition plan together. You attended the Clean Energy Strategic Planning Series for that year and a half, and so I just wanted to thank you and acknowledge you for that service you've given to us and helping me. Appreciate it.
Well said, Bill.
I had to join because you bribed me by rigging the drawing for the rain barrel. So
you got the rain barrel that week?
Yeah,
that Township Day?
Rigged the drawings. I'm like, I guess I got to give back then. Right.
And then you brought us. So the synchronicity here is that once you joined, and we learned about the Masters of Sustainability at Villanova, you introduced us to Professor Schmidt, and that led to the relationship where Villanova students came in for 2 semesters and did projects for us for those 2 while we were creating an energy transition plan. It was just a great timing.
It actually started a whole thing. I know at least the following 2 semesters, if not, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they keep rotating around to different
They've helped West
communities, and
they helped West Norton after us.
Yeah.
Yep, the year after.
Yeah, so I know they did that for at least a couple of years. I don't know if it's still going.
I'm not sure.
It's been a while since they were here.
Yeah, it was nice to have that.
Extra help.
Yeah.
They came up with some pretty neat things I didn't realize. But yeah, anyway.
So you have to take a year off before you can.
Right. Yeah. So you have 2 full, complete terms, and then you have to take the year off. So if you started with a partial term, you can carry it through for a little extra. I picked up, somebody had gone off, so I picked up a few extra months. So it's actually like 6 years, 4 months or something.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
I lasted. I made it.
You made it.
They already got you coming back in a year, I know.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know. Just to touch on it, I don't know if I'll be back in a year, but so I've definitely gotten the impression from the township and Matt specifically that he really wants to see the EAB in front of things. You can obviously pull in people, you can pull in Bill and other people to support ideas, but he really wants to see presentations led by the EAB and really see somebody from the EAB in front of it. So, with the clean energy plan and I guess this letter that we're hoping to send to the PUC, it's going to have to be somebody from the EAB presenting on those topics. And then I don't know, I do have other things I'd be interested in doing, so I can continue to support a little bit, but I think I'm kind of going to go inactive, at least for a little while.
You deserve a break. You do.
Yeah, coming from you guys, you've been here 15, 16 years or 17 years?
Yeah, Rick's the,
Yeah, but I mean, I'm
long
not.
timer.
You guys are volunteers. A little different.
Well, anyway, let's jump into it then. So, Frank, I just put on the same material here, but you saw the email. I forwarded the statement from Matt,
Yeah.
saying he's still looking to talk to the
yeah,
traffic engineer.
what Andy forwarded to me was a brief message from Matt saying, yeah, they're working on it. Township engineer may have something in like 2 months or so.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem, like the hottest priority.
So I actually spoke to him a little bit today too. So I guess there was a little bit of a misunderstanding when they first kind of talked to the traffic engineer, and he came back with like $1 to $2 million to, like he had like acquisition of.
Oh, gosh.
Like on Jolly Road. So and Matt's like, no, we don't want to go that far. We want to do like just a bike lane, and I guess they have those share rows on. So I guess kind of redirected him, and he's expected to have something back, early next year from them. For Jolly Road, I'm talking about.
That'd be good.
Yeah, it started.
That's great.
The other thing, kind of interesting, with this Pico thing, and unfortunately Ellen's not here. Apparently they're going to replace all the power lines, in that stretch, and with that they'll be tearing up the road and making their own road and all that. I don't know if we can kind of get with them and partner with them a little bit to say, if it's a go, if we can use a bike path there, if that's allowable, first of all. Can we kind of work with you that as your trucks go up and down the same road, that'll eventually become
Path.
a walking, biking path for us? I don't know when that is slated for.
I think I don't either. I know they started down. I don't know if they're starting close to the substation or not, but I know down on Conshohocken Road, I saw two, foundations, caissons.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
So I know they're starting there. I don't know,
Yeah.
which way they're going, but
Because I wasn't sure, one of the towers has 2 sets of transmission lines on them, like 6 wires. The other 2 have 3 wires on them. I don't know if they would like redo it to bundle it so they'd only have two lines with 6 and 6. I've seen that done before in my experience. It cleans up a little less, towers if they're replacing them, but just not sure of the project. So it wouldn't be bad to get a hold on that project a little bit. I don't know if you know anybody who.
So we do have a township liaison, Pico township liaison. Her name is, oh my gosh, it just left my mind. Suzanne Ryan, yes. So we could maybe contact her and see
Okay.
if she knows any, I would assume she has to know something about
Does
it.
does she work for the township?
She works for Pico, but she's the she's
okay.
the township liaison for Pico.
Could you send me her contact information?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of pursue a few things with her. One, there's always been debate, can we make a path under that line or not? That's kind of been back and forth,
So I think there was a little bit of misunderstanding. I wasn't at that meeting. I couldn't make that meeting, but Matt and Chris went with Suzanne Ryan. And I think there was a little bit of misinformation that it wasn't that you couldn't do it. It was they were not going to allow anything because of the construction. So they were kind of like putting a hold on everything until after the construction. Okay. So I think we were kind of told that you can't, that they're no longer allowing it, but that wasn't the case.
Does the construction force off those people that have the leases or whatever? How does that work? I'm just wondering if that interrupts the lease cycle, I guess. And
Yeah, I don't know that. I know that, so I think we're clear from Germantown to Township line, because we did kind of like, I don't know if you say right of first refusal for that lease where that woman had horses up there. But on the other side, that's where there's, I think, 2 or 3 leaseholders that, that was the problem going from Germantown up to Hollowell. So, yeah, I don't know the answer to that. Maybe that's another question for Suzanne.
And are those leases perpetual, or do we have the right, does the township have the right to kind of intercede the next time they go for renewal?
It sounded to me like they're perpetual. Like, I know ours are, they send us I think we pay like a nominal $10 or $20, but, I don't think that we could, take that lease away from that person. That was
Well, I guess
my understanding.
the question is, are they allowed to have a lease just to hold the land and not be using it? Meaning if they're just protecting it from anyone else intruding into their space because they don't want anybody to take it, and they're just paying the $1 every year, doesn't seem like that's a fair use of that lease.
But I think on that other side, I think they are using it. There's horses.
There is something there?
There's horses, and there's 2 there, and I mean, the one guy looks like he's got cars parked on it, so.
If you look, if you're going up Germantown towards the mall and you look right, you do see a lot of stuff up there.
Yeah, so I don't know, I think, I don't know what, I know there's definitely like a shed there with horses in it, or like a little, fenced-in area. I don't know if the other lease is the guy with the cars or not, I don't know.
Well, forward me that, and
Yeah, I
I'll
will.
begin a discussion, and we'll see where it winds up.
Okay.
Not to jump ahead, but I mean, with the mall development, and one thing we point out with the 2040 plan is that there were routes connecting to the mall area and everything, so just keep
That's,
that in mind, I guess.
yeah, I was going to mention that next. There does seem to be a lot of energy behind this, like, town center at the mall. So it'd be good if we could get our fingers into that and see what's going on, and maybe make some walking paths around there. I mean, I know a lot of people like to walk in the mall because it's covered and all that kind of stuff. So perhaps we could do something there to, make a loop or something like that, so.
And actually, it is in the plan, Frank, the comprehensive 2019 plan does have the path around the mall.
Oh, yeah.
The outside edge. And the idea was to go all the way around the outside edge. And then when you get up to where the mattress store is, we're gonna cut back across or into that. I think that was the zone owned by the Turnpike.
Okay.
So we were going, if we couldn't go back into the Turnpike space, we would go up to the property where the mattress store is and then come over, and then the shoulder of Plymouth Road has enough space that you could string the path, but ideally we'd like to get a bike bridge attached to the existing Turnpike bridge, so you would increase the safety. So there is room in the shoulder, but we'd rather get a bridge on the Turnpike bridge.
Yeah, I think we talked about that at one time, right? We're looking at this.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Priya bought that Turnpike yard. So that's part of the mall.
Redevelopment.
Do they still own the mall? I thought they sold it to somebody.
I thought they still owned it. I thought they were selling it to this guy. There's been like, I guess there's so many different parcels there now, like all those restaurants are their own parcel. The office building that they're making into apartments, that was a separate parcel. I thought Priya had still owned it, but I could be wrong.
Okay. So we'll see what we can do with the, when would things start kind of breaking loose for plans or on this town square?
So that was another thing that Matt and I spoke about. There's no agreement of sale. So they don't know, they're assuming it would be sometime next year that there would be an agreement of sale. And I guess once that happens, then they'll come in and, I guess we'll explain what they want to do there.
Okay. See where we want to go, yeah.
I mean, we talked a little bit about any ideas, any different ideas on next year, or for the budget?
Oh, as far as this is concerned,
Yeah.
walking or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, we've looked at a lot of the places where there's, viability. Pursue those and see where they go. I don't know where else in the township, like, there'd be,
Yeah, I
And
think
you got
starting
this-
with the Jolly Road, and then
yeah.
seeing what comes with the Pico
I
construction.
mean, I thought the Jolly Road had some decent momentum for a while, and then it just sort of, and who knows, township engineer may come back with some good stuff, and we'll do it in the spring. What was her name again? Suzanne Ryan?
Suzanne
All
Ryan.
right, and you'll send me some on that?
I'll send you her email.
Very good, Andrew. I know real new content. I put up the rain barrels and compost bins that was it Lynn had forwarded to us. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I know other townships or other environmental nonprofits have done this sort of thing with maybe leading an informative workshop, teaching folks how to use rain barrels and their importance, and same with compost. And then they give out like a free or highly reduced bin or barrel. I don't know if it kind of did sound like just a guy was just pitching to all the townships and seeing which one stuck, but it could be something we could explore, or if the township has money for that. But yeah, how do we feel about that? I don't know if it's something we want to pursue. So if you didn't see the email, there was a company that sells rain barrels and compost bins, and reached out to Lynn Vicio, one of the council members, and said that they can sell them to the township for a reduced or a lower rate or something, if the township wanted to give them out or host an event or sell them. So
I'm assuming if you used a rain barrel, you'd have to raise your downspout, like to,
Not to raise it
Is
down. I mean,
is that how they work or not?
well, you can cut a little hole in them and just have
Just kind of divert it
come off
into the
there,
rain
yeah.
barrel,
yeah, I have one at my parents', coming off of the water coming off of the garage. It fills up pretty quick, but yeah, I mean they're good to have, especially when we get a lot of rain. Can save up some water, potentially reduce runoff or flooding for a little bit.
Is there, do you think, Rick, is that anything under the stormwater thing? I mean, rain barrel doesn't hold that much, but
Yeah.
everybody gets them. I don't know,
That's a good
55
point.
gallon. I mean,
I'd have to ask. I don't know. I'm sure. Like I know there's an educational component to the whole stormwater, the MS4. So maybe if they did some type of little like class on it or how to hook it up or something, maybe that would qualify. But I'd have to ask Chris Lashner about that. If it would qualify.
But are you guys really in need of more MS4?
Yeah, I think they're always looking for like I told them about all the stuff that you did, and I haven't heard back from the engineer, but like all that stuff goes like I guess there's like an endless need for credits. You know what I mean? You always got something that
Yeah. If you need any specific numbers too.
yeah, I will. I'll follow up with them because I did tell them because they're talking about naturalizing the detention basin at Cardinal View. As far to get some credits and so that's what I brought up about all the riparian stuff that you did. So, but no one asked me any.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we can leave this on there and consider it maybe for next year, and maybe that could be a way if we get some credits for giving these barrels or selling these barrels and doing a workshop, maybe that's something we can explore. We already did the compost workshop this past fall. Didn't get a crazy turnout, and Colleen did have compost bins available for sale through her organization, so I don't know if she had any takers or not, but maybe the rain barrels would be more interesting to folks. I don't have any big updates for the open space and meadow. I think for next year we'll try to do another tree giveaway, follow up on that. And I think I'd like to try and start a seed library at the community center or another public area for folks to share vegetable seeds and native wildflower seeds and things like that. And then I think we talked about last month, potential, or maybe a month before, trying the leaf demonstration of leaving the leaves maybe somewhere. But that's for next fall.
Actually, since that was last month, I put that on the later chart. I didn't think to put it on here. But
Yeah, well, it's on there though.
yeah, but what we were a little more like what we were talking about last month.
Would the township have any input on that leave the leaves, like from either a safety standpoint or I don't know.
Yeah, we'd have to be careful about if we did a demonstration like this in a park or something, it would kind of have to be out of the way, or clear, like if we put up, I talked about putting up a small like chicken wire fence around the tree and piling the leaves in there so they don't blow all over the place. But then you'd have to carefully mark the fence and people don't trip over it. But yeah, we have some time to think about it.
Okay. Maybe I misunderstand that. So when I see leave the leaves, it means like on my street, nobody's raking the leaves. They're just there they are. Good compost.
Yeah.
Is that it, or is it kind of a more like
it's more
controlled leave the leaves?
Yeah, I think it's more nuanced. Like we definitely don't want leaves on impervious surfaces like streets and driveways, because that can block storm drains and it can lead to nutrient pollution in streams and things like that. So that's why you mentioned the street sweepers and the leaf pickup service is great. But it's more for like areas like in the back of your backyard where you're not really using it. You can maybe blow the leaves or rake the leaves in the corner instead of leaf blowing them all out to the road or something like that. But yeah.
Back to the rain barrel. Do we know what others? You mentioned other townships tried this. Do we know? Have you talked about who they used as a supplier and how much those would cost?
No, I haven't. I'll have to look through my email because I do remember seeing a couple rain barrel workshops, and I don't remember which groups or townships, but that's a good idea to reach out and see if they have a better product or a better price.
The newsletter Bill forwarded out from Lower Marion, not rainbow bears, but they had a compost trial, I guess, for a small area of the township where they were offering, I think they limited to like 75 residents to a weekly compost pickup trial. They're composting it, but I don't know what their facilities or what they're using. But.
Yeah, right. That's cool. I'm wondering. I guess with food waste is may come with different codes than like the leaf and twig yard waste pickup, but it's pretty similar in how it's. You can mix. It can be mixed with those leaves and twigs and composted but yeah, that's a cool program.
This was a Facebook post I did for us like 2021 or something. For a month, I was tracking my waste collection, and I have a backyard compost, and so I was tracking what was the weight of that in my trash and recycles, and I was actually pretty close to national average, because I did also find some research on it, but I want to say it was like 15% or whatever of the trash pickup is compostable, actually. So I don't know, I did some like multiply by 5,000 households, this weight and everything, and I forget, I guess Chris had given us like an amount for what they pay per ton for trash collection. So I put it, I came out, I think it was 39,000 a year in savings if everybody went to compost that 15% of their waste. So there is that argument that if you could do a compost collection from existing funds that are just already being spent on trash collection, I mean, making it a reality and really seeing that savings is always a challenge, but
Right.
that's it. All right. Let's see, so the SEM provided a draft to Matt and asked them to provide a final kind of recommendations for the year. So they provided a summary draft. I haven't seen, besides I had one comment on it, just trying to understand. They had a EV recommendation in there, so I was trying to understand and get them to add a little more clarity. But other than that, I don't know, I haven't seen anybody writing back to them, so I assume that's kind of a final.
I think so, yeah.
But besides that, I mean, the feedback we got a couple months ago was that, Matt, the township, really wants to work in the idea of EVs and rooftop solar into more of their longer term planning, so it'll be part of the capital improvement plan. But this summary and the other white papers or papers that the SEM put together will help feed into that. I don't know, am I missing anything?
No, I mean, it's pretty much the plan. I think that, we're gonna start working on this capital improvement plan, I think, maybe February. I don't know if we'll get to it in January, but that, those projects are, one of many projects, and we'll see how they stack up and rate. But they are, the pricing that they gave us is in there, and, we'll see where they fall.
And then the clean energy transition plan with the SEM support, we did some revisions, updates in the fall. Did send that back to council back in September and tried to get on, was it October? Yeah, October workshop, but got bumped. I think they were actually talking about the data center at that point. And then November and December were planned for budget planning. So, our first opportunity would be January. Right now, I did write Matt about doing that in February, and so he has it penciled in. It's just a question of if something of a higher priority comes up. But so we're tentatively on the agenda for the February workshop meeting for the clean energy transition plan. Not on here. I guess didn't put on any chart, but the letter to the PUC on trying to help clear the backlog for solar applicants. Matt seemed okay with that, but he did ask for a presentation on it. So for that, we're on the January agenda for the workshop. And he did tell me that workshop, I guess we don't remember, I've never been to a January workshop, but because they've got new members, it actually starts.
Reorganization, yeah, it starts later.
So I think it's 7:30, that workshop. So, again, my letter officially says December 31st, midnight, you're going. 11:59, your EAB powers fade away. So, yeah, we'll have to ask if somebody can plan to present. Bill, we can help work on charts and everything. In fact, the Clean Energy Transition Plan, I think we already had charts for that ready to go to the October meeting. I haven't done anything for this SEP letter, but I don't think we need much on that. I think it's a couple of charts. So anyway, we can help, but somebody's going to have to volunteer from the EAB here to do that. If anyone wants to do that now.
Yeah, do we have to decide now?
No, don't have to.
Well,
It's only a couple weeks.
We don't want to have much time before January 5th, and if we want to prep
Right.
a slide or two, we could probably do our own, because it's not a decision meeting, we could just probably do it over Zoom, just to talk about how to do it.
Oh.
I think you guys should decide now,
Yeah.
only because you don't have enough
Yeah.
time.
So Ellen and Lena don't get to vote, or don't get a chance to raise their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Lena,
No.
she presented on like the rooftop solar stuff before, so I mean, she's done a little energy related stuff. I don't know if she'd be interested, but could write her.
Yeah. I think we'll have to write the group and see. I don't know. I wish I had a little more bandwidth, but
Is the SEM contract, did they actually say goodbye, or are they still
At the end of the year.
end of the year? So you could talk to them in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
They haven't said,
If they're not on vacation, but yeah.
they haven't said goodbye in terms of calling you guys and say, hey, this is my last day.
No, I talked to them. I sent them the plans for the geothermal. They asked me for that. I sent them that, but I haven't heard anything from them. That was a few weeks ago.
Andy, would it be reasonable to just ask for a half-hour final call, just to have a chance to kind of reflect on everything that had happened, and just ask Matt if he could give us half hour and just have a chance if there are any last lingering questions in his head?
I think you're having trouble getting him. I know he's off, and then he has to do the reorganization. I'm just
Well,
saying,
maybe
Matt, well, I don't know about
we
the
could
guy
meet-
from, the
we
guys
could-
from the
We could
SEM.
meet with Rick and just do it, I mean, I was just thinking courtesy of Matt, but. And then anyone else who wants to help with energy next year could, be in that call, and we could kind of help bring them up to speed.
If we are gonna do that, it's gonna have to be this week, because I'm off.
Oh, you're off next week too?
It's Christmas next week. Have you heard of it?
Oh my God, so we've only got,
It's next week.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. I mean, if you got availability, Andy, are you
Crazy time of the
willing?
year. It is.
Well, not tomorrow. And I do have a little bit of a busy schedule on Thursday and Friday. But I have some availability. I just,
Thursday's probably not good for me. I got a couple meetings on Thursday, so.
I mean, if we're just having a call with the SEM, I mean, whether Rick and Matt are available or not, maybe it's more our clarity to say, hey, you had a lingering question. I just had a minor question about the ETP, which I could handle on my own. I don't need them, but it would just be kind of nice to reflect and say, hey, guys, what did you learn about our township? Is there any guidance you would? And because they have experience with other townships, maybe they could kind of just help us do a debrief. Maybe it's more like a debrief.
I don't mind the idea. I kind of like it. I just, But yeah,
Half an hour, half
try
an
to
hour
see
on
if we can
Friday.
do a half hour on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what their schedule is, but we could try it.
Friday was one week of meeting with them, so maybe they like Fridays, but
Maybe they
we'll
like
see.
Fridays.
We'll see. Okay, yeah, I'll give it a try. Let me think here for a second. I had to think, I'm not thinking about next year too much personally with this. Shared energy manager will go away, so that aspect isn't there. But next year, I guess, as you get into like the capital improvement plan and so forth, going back in, see how we can support, provide data as necessary. And obviously get the energy transition plan approved. That's a big one. I'm not sure right now what else. All right, so township planning support. So again, the idea is the township has budget for a planner in 2026. I was hoping, Nick, or I don't know how much you know about it. I was hoping maybe Nick could share what he knew. What I've been told is that you've got the data center, which is a big thing, and not having the zoning appropriate for that. There's a lot of churn going on around them, not just the mall, but around, like, I think the DoubleTree is looking to sell. I don't know about Courtyard, but there's other parcels there that are also in play, as well as just the feel that the 2040 plan is already kind of out of date. So that's what was shared with me. I don't know if you.
I have not heard. I haven't heard anything about.
So, the planner in question, what's the job title?
I mean, it'll be consultant, but yeah, I don't know what type of firm, like what exactly they'll go for.
Okay, but it's an urban planner of sorts, or what kind of planner in this
I mean, I would imagine it's going to have stuff. It's going to have something to do with all these. You know, we have a lot of commercial office space that is now. Everybody wants to come in and put apartments in, so I bet you it's going to have to be, something to figure out how that's all going to work. Because the DoubleTree, I heard, they're proposing to put apartments at the DoubleTree. So that's like the new thing now. They're putting apartments everywhere. So I didn't hear about the planner, but I would bet he's probably going to try and get all our ducks in a row for these data centers and apartment buildings.
What kind of planning relationship has the township had up till now? What kind of planning resource did you use?
So there was a guy that we used to use, I can't remember his name now, but he was a consultant that would do, he would do work for the township. I haven't seen him in years and years, so I don't know if he's still even in business or.
So when you did the building rehab, did you kind of run that as your own project? You didn't need a planner to help you get started?
No, I was more of an architect for this. Yeah, not a zoning expert or.
Okay.
You know, one relationship that some townships use is the Montgomery County Planning Commission.
Yeah.
They've got a group of planners that are designated as community planners. So, but then you subscribe to it. So like you get a certain number of hours from that relationship, but it's your budget, so you budget for that. So if the township decided to use them, they could be the ones that are helping plan whatever you want to do in your township.
That's who did the 2040 plan.
And that's right, we did do that through the.
So maybe they are going to use them. I don't know. I don't know who they're going to. I haven't heard anything about it, but I'm guessing it's probably to do with all the stuff that's coming up.
So we budgeted for a planner. Is there a time frame when the planner would be on board?
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah.
can ask Matt.
I mean, I guess they'd have to go through some selection process, or unless they have
Yeah,
a
I mean,
guy in mind
it's-
already.
And that, it's a professional service, you don't have to really
You have to
do
that.
RFPs and all that stuff, but they may be using the county, that's who they use to do the 2040 plan. But to be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm figuring like whenever that person gets on board, get them here and talk to them and see what we can do.
Yeah.
You know, see what they're working on.
I'll ask Matt tomorrow if I get a chance. I think he's got a half a day tomorrow, but I'll try and see him, see if I get any information on the planner.
Yeah.
Did the budget pass last night?
Yeah.
No issues, no concerns?
No, I mean, I wasn't here, but I don't think so. I think it was a real quick meeting.
No new taxes?
No, there's new taxes.
There is new taxes. Oh, I missed that.
Don't clap, Frank.
I didn't see it.
Oh, don't clap
I didn't see
yet?
it publicized. I mean, I just haven't paid attention.
I mean, we yeah, there is going to be a millage increase. I mean, I know that they talked about it when they did the presentation at the November public meeting. They had a bunch of slides just showing what other townships are charging for their sewer and for their public works and things like that, and then what Plymouth's charging, and
Do they have, how many other townships have automobile dealers? 15 automobile dealers,
They did.
where we get business tax money from?
yeah, they did. I guess, I mean, and I learned a little bit more about the budget than in the past, but I guess, like, the ideal scenario is that your real estate tax and your business, tax and your EIT tax, like, they all should kind of be similar, so if one takes a hit, and we're not like that, we're like, our real estate tax is real low, and, they're all low compared to the other neighboring townships, but they want them to be kind of equal, so if, we have a recession or something happens where one, takes a hit, it's not like you're really getting clobbered. So, I guess they're trying to even them out. I don't think it's, the firehouses need a little bit more money, but I don't think it's a lot of money, maybe a couple $100 a year per household. But I guess with everything else going up, I guess you didn't hear it from me, but they're tax.
Well, that's one opportunity we forgot to think about. The firehouse rehab,
Yes.
is it gonna have a flat roof that could accommodate solar?
Yes.
So that's another budget offset, because if we could show how much the solar will save them on their electric bills, that could reduce their operating costs, increasing the benefit of the building. And is that a township-owned business? Or
Township
entity?
owns the ground. Township owns the ground,
Do they pay the electric bill?
no.
I don't know. Yeah, and I think your idea is to talk to the planner to try to set up something where the AB can talk to them.
I'll try and find out who it is and when they're bringing them on.
Just on the data centers, if people didn't watch the video that Ellen sent out about the Montgomery County Planning Commission, that hour-long presentation they gave, I thought that was really, really good one. Chance to watch that? I'll probably forward it to you. I don't know if you want to watch it, but I want to see it.
I don't know, how long is it?
Hour.
It's about an hour.
You can play it on 1.5 speed, and if you turn on closed captions, you can keep up with it, so it helps it get through a lot faster.
I actually, I have it on. I was in the kitchen doing other stuff, so how much I got but that's how I.
Are they proposing, are they proposing data centers? And, I mean, I know they're proposing in Plymouth Township, but is the county doing anything with these zoning or?
So the Montgomery County Planning Commission, so they were informational and talking about just sharing the impacts and then what is happening around the area and so forth. And then I guess they were planning on a white paper, but they were discussing maybe coming up with a template or draft ordinance for zoning. So I guess maybe they'll offer that. There's already some other ones that we've found, and they also put forth some.
If it's the video that I'm thinking of, is it the one that also talks about curative amendments too?
I don't know if the county talked about it, so I can't remember which one you're thinking of, but.
Might have been the one you sent with the, I forget what township it was.
Oh, for East Manchester over in York County?
Yeah.
That might be one, if you got a chance to listen to that. You know, I think the Montgomery County Planning was just trying to help alert townships to all of the things you want to consider, like, you know, land, easement, air, impacts, water impacts, sound, and whether you want to restrict the height of the building and things like that. Like these monster data centers, sometimes in Virginia, they were asking for like 60, 80 feet tall buildings, you know.
Okay, now I remember more about the video.
So again, just more looking forward. So this is just a couple notes I took out of last month's meetings that Johnny asked what we covered. We only had one or two, if you count Bill guests, so we didn't have too much new discussion, but talked a little bit about the leave the leaves, and then different public education, really talking about specifically on leave benefits and so forth. But I mean, I think we've talked about public education before, but we actually haven't, I think, focused on it in several years where we really had an attempt at a strong push. So maybe I don't know, that's something we can transition back to next year, where we really try to set up some more educational things for the township. Any other ideas outside the box here?
I guess when I think of this, are there any like trackers of what environmental problems or issues there are? Like, is there any data or records or anything like that? I mean, typically not, either on pollution or pollution in some of the streams we have or something like that. Like something where we could go off data that's based on, here's a graph of, I'll just pick pollution as whatever. And for so many years it's like this, and the last 3 years it's gone up. Like, I'm sure the township doesn't have something like that, but I'm just thinking of like some chart or data where it's gone in the wrong direction and we could help bring it back, to center.
I know they do outfall, they call it outfall testing at like certain stormwater outfall, devices. I don't know. I think it's a third party. It's not the township staff that does it, but I could ask if there's some type of data on that.
I have no really idea, but it's just something like, here's a problem, name the problem, and then we'll try to find a solution, as opposed to us trying to come up with the problem and then trying to find the solution.
Yes, if there's more data that we can look at, then that's something we can potentially solve.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I know the state does testing of all named streams and rivers in the state every 2 years, including the ones in Plymouth. I don't know if they release all their data or if they just kind of release the result, but it's every 2 years this report says, like, Sawmill Run is rated as impaired for its ability to support aquatic wildlife, and that's what it's been for however long. But I don't know if they release the actual data that they collect.
Right. I'm just just thinking.
Well, as you were talking, I was initially thinking, like you said, that you'd want to have that data and then turn that into action. But the other idea is, you said, I wish I had that data, is we take the action to start compiling that data, so in the future we do have it. But, I mean, I think, right, there's going to be a lot of public information out there, right, from different organizations and governmental or nonprofit and so forth. It's a matter of pulling it all together and creating that dashboard, like you said, of these different issues. You know, that could be an action that we could take.
I mean, like, is there an environmental problem in Plymouth Township? It's a pretty big, it's a pretty big thing, but I mean, if, I'm just, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Andrew, I'm just throwing stuff out to like, there's a problem, let's go fix it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know of any.
I like that idea, by the way, of creating dashboards or ways to measure our metrics of the township. But the hard part is finding out finding where these data is coming from and trying to consolidate it.
And ensuring that it's actually published this year, published next year. You know, you never know.
Right,
It's
right.
government.
Yeah, it could be 3 years outdated.
Andrew, you mentioned water testing. Have you ever looked at the test that came from any of our streams? I mean, I'm just curious what kind of content it includes.
Yeah, I mean the report just says that the streams are impaired, which is like the lower rating. It just means it can't support
Or whatever.
higher. You know, it can support the generalist macroinvertebrates and stuff that can survive in tough conditions, but the stuff that needs cleaner water is not found in these streams, which suggests pollution. And I'm sure they collect, you know, nitrate levels
What
and
the source pollution is, because I know, isn't Willow Grove like famous for having PFAS from the airbase firefighting foam?
No.
Have we ever had people report PFAS in Plymouth? Do we know if any of our waters are, polluted with that?
I mean, I don't know. I've never heard of it in Plymouth. I know, like, I went to a seminar years ago, and I guess in the Northeast, the one thing they're concerned about is the salt. You know, how much salt we put on the roads, and that gets into the streams, and that's too much of that's not good either. And I don't know if that's why we can't support wildlife or not, but I know they, in the Midwest, it's like cow manure. It gets into each area has their own pollutant, but I don't know. I've never heard of that PFAS stuff around here.
The other maybe attribute that could be measured is there's these things called purple air monitors, and they read the PM, I forget what it's called, PM technical term, PM 2.5 particulate levels, and they kind of have these, because even individuals could buy them and put them on. There's a Wi-Fi enabled, and you just put them in a place where it's going to get enough air. And then they have these points all over the state, and you can click on a map to find out what the counts are near you. So I was thinking maybe that could be a suggestion for the township to put one up, somewhere on the township property, because then it would collect air, and people could click on it to see what's the air quality in Plymouth. Just another way of measuring things.
Something to look at the cost, I guess. I don't know.
I think they were reasonable.
If you
Did look at it, it was like under $300. At least when I was looking a few years ago, it was under $300. So depends on what level of monitoring or statistics it creates. So I'll find it.
Yeah, send it to me.
I'll find it.
See.
Any other thoughts, ideas for next week? See, what else do we have here? Oh, social media posts. I didn't have any ideas to put on the chart this month. Christmas tree recycling that they put out. You guys take care of
Sustainable wrapping paper.
that. Bag or come up with something on like reuse of bags or boxes or save them next year. Something like that. Festive for the holidays we can put up.
Yeah, I'll try to think of some. Or at least sharing a page that has posted something like that already. Sharing
Yeah.
a post from a page.
That's a good idea. Sure, there's something.
There's no way to measure the success of the plastic bag ban, is there? I mean, you can't kind of write a note to say, thank you, Plymouth residents, for, the first year of a successful ban, I mean, it does reduce the number. So you could use that calculator. Remember the person gave us that number that's an average number of bags per person, and we could say something like, hey, Plymouth in the first year, we've eliminated this number of bags. Maybe that would just give a wake-up call to people to think, oh, wow, cool,
Yeah. Most people probably forgot about it.
Came
After
normal.
all the
Became normal now.
after all the uproar.
Everybody has their
reusable bag with them.
bags in their car now. Multiple.
Yeah, it is good though. Just like most stores, I think pretty much every store I've seen has no plastic bags anymore.
I think East Norton is still, if you go into the Acme or whatever, they've got large, they must have taken all the plastic bags from the Plymouth stores because they have a pretty large, And all the stores in the Northtown Shopping Center there,
Still have it. Yeah.
still have plastic bags,
Yeah, I know Whip Pain. I go to the Giant over there. I know they started it a while ago.
Yeah.
They so, I guess most of the townships
We
are.
need to expand,
Yeah.
I haven't seen a count or heard anything.
I can't say I know how far it's gone.
There's probably more that don't than there are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's still a big, small dent.
It was a good effort, though. I mean, all the stores I go in Plymouth, I don't think any of them have it. They may offer you a paper bag, and even there, they may be charging you a dime, I'm not sure.
Yeah, even Dick's, you figure like that place, people buying, all kinds of
Yeah.
jackets, and they'll ask you if you want one.
All right, so a couple ideas.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anything else from the township?
I mean, a lot of my time right now is being spent on the natatorium renovation project. We did the ceiling level punch list last week, so that's all done. They're starting to take the scaffolding down in the pool. It's going well. Electricians are a little bit behind, so there's no power to the new equipment yet, but I think first week of January, we should have power in there, and it's going well.
Good.
We applied for a PICO grant for the shared energy manager. Told us about PICO reimbursement for the VFDs for the pump, so I think I want to say it might be $15,000 that we'll get back from Pico for having those VFDs on the pump, so.
What do they do?
So they regulate, like, so it's like, they'll amp up or slow down the pumps based on the usage. So, you know, at night, they'll ramp them way down where there's just, you know, there's bathing code requirements that you have to turn that water over so many times an hour or a day. So they'll be set that, you know, at night when nobody's in there, they'll slow it down, and then when it's on high use, they'll ramp it up. So they kind of like dial their pumps in.
So more traditional would be on, off, full bore or off.
Full bore all the time. That's how the filter pumps are full bore all the time without these VFDs. Now they'll run a little less power.
Any other efficiencies added in the pump? I mean, you said that, but anything else?
LED lighting in the pool. You know, the roof, the ceiling was repainted white, so it's a lot brighter in there. So probably, you know, use a little less lighting. But yeah, that's really it. Nothing.
And from what I remember, it's a couple years ago, but I think the pool was like the most expensive part of the expense, right? So
Oh, yeah,
this
by
should,
far.
this should help a lot.
Yeah, the community center is the biggest draw on the township as far as energy usage.
So it'll be interesting to see what the
Yeah.
electricity changes after with those.
Yeah.
Do they have an end date for that project yet, or not really?
We do. I'm a little reluctant to put it out just because. But I mean, it's going to be sometime in February.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's
good. That would.
It's going to depend on
Yeah.
the electricians getting power in there because they can't fill the pools up until they got power to the pumps and stuff. So, I would say, you know, barring they set the ERU unit today. So like there was things that I was a little worried about, but you know, the lead time on stuff. So that's like the last
It's not bad.
major thing that, I think it'll, you know, it had a chance there for a little while. It might have even been sooner, but the electricians kind of slowed it down.
One other, you and I were at the workshop when the developer for the business park across from the elementary school, I forget what that's called, wants to turn them into 150-some townhouses. And we had asked if he was considering sustainability or electrification to make them solar ready, electric ready. And I don't know, he hasn't come back yet with his proposal yet that you've heard. So, but that could be a good candidate for an EAB project to kind of come up with some guidelines for new builders developments, just because part of our ETP is the township taking measures to clean its energy use. So this could be our first attempt to help to reach some public stakeholders and not just focus on the municipality. So, you know, there's a lot of people we could consult with, Green Building United and others that we could consult with to help us come up with some guidelines.
U.S. Green Building Conference?
Yep, one of those, yep. Green Building,
Yeah, council, that's it.
right.
Yeah, I was thinking about going back to the planner. I mean, to ask data center or somebody like that to come in with 100% renewable energy. I mean, honestly, it's not impossible. If you look up the data centers and how many billions they're putting into it, it'd be a massive solar farm you're talking about. But nothing, they can't do it on the site. It would have to be some distant thing. But anyway, just thinking about that, you know, we did our 100 pledge. We're talking about working now a little, you know, I think getting a little bit closer. the municipal operations starting to move down the path. And then we're planning on doing the broader community coming up, but start to put this into the zoning or, other applications that, building codes and applications that, maybe not 100% right away or something, but say that you have to make it, rooftop solar ready or something like that, or come in at some low percent, or if you're doing like a whole development, say, 20% of that has to have.
Make it solar ready and make it electric ready, even if you don't start with electric.
Right.
You at least put the circuits in so they can, it's kind of like laying conduit in the parking lot here, say, for the future. So this is a good opportunity for the developer of the mall, because if they're gonna redo the mall, why not challenge them to put in as many of those attributes as possible? So Upper Dublin Township, in September 2021, when we had the tornado that hit several places here in going Bucks, it took out the Upper Dublin Township building, and it damaged the high school. So as a result of it taking out the township building, they are now almost ready to open up a net zero township building, because they built it with geothermal and enough solar and enough insulation, or good building characteristics, that they'll have a zero energy building. So if they're going to take apart the mall, why not challenge them to make it net zero in the end? And the same with the apartments, unless they're just going to use the existing structures. So anyway, that's just an idea.
I know that the one building is the existing structure. I don't know what they'll do with, I think they still have like an agreement that they're gonna still put like 400 apartments down there by the old IKEA building too. I think that was approved, but maybe now they won't do that if they're gonna redevelop the mall. I don't know.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
And the only other project I was thinking on is, when can we put the EAB in for its bid on the Pico Green Region grant, $10,000 in the fall? Because every year we miss, and then other department comes in and
So I don't.
takes it away from us. So I'd like to see the EAB put its bid in at the beginning of the year, say we want to be the one's first candidate to apply in September. And then when we go to the council to say, can we get the $10,000, they can yay or nay it, but we should be first in line, because we've been waiting the last 3 years.
I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that I brought up during budget that we wanted to, and to be honest with you. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think Matt was on board with it. I just don't know, what line item that is. I guess I'd have to ask him that. Because last year it was that money wasn't budgeted. So
that might be a January motion to kind of say, hey, guys, let's put in our question let's put our request in. Are you coming to the reorg meeting?
The reorg meeting?
Meaning the EAB reorg meeting?
I just wanted to ask Rick, any updates on that property next to Harriet Wetherell?
yeah, so the township is interested. I think they might even have reached out, but I think right now they feel like they're asking
Too much, yeah.
too much money. So I know that Ellen said there's grants from the county, but the grants are only up to $500,000, and they're asking $1.6 million for that property.
$500,000 that the county can pay?
No, they could pay. I think she said 25% of the purchase cost, but only up to $500,000.
Okay.
So
I thought it was. I thought it was. Okay, so let's say the county covers $500,000. You can still. You just have to pay.
Not $500,000. It's the total cost of the property can only be $500,000.
Oh, okay.
So whatever their percentage, I can't remember what she said, if it was 25 or 50%. So it would be, let's say $250,000, but they want $1.6 million for the property.
Yeah, I think the county match was 75%.
Okay, so it would be 75%. It would be $350,000.
Yeah.
So, and I personally, I know the property, I've been there, they started at 1.7, they want, or 1.79, they went to 1.7, now they're down to, they went 1.6, I think they're 1.59 right now, but, the other thought was that it's already deed restricted, no one could build on it. So worst case scenario, there's not gonna be any houses on there.
So someone else will just buy it to live there? That's the reason? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they did reach out, I know Matt called him personally, and, it's still for sale. I don't see them getting that kind of money for it, but yeah,
How many acres was it?
I think it's 7.8 or 8 acres.
And it's right on the on Harrowville. That would've been a nice ad.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe it'll go down more.
There's that open space fund, we could pitch for that again.
I know, yeah. Raise taxes again?
so I think they're seriously considering an open space fund, but not raising taxes, just,
Designating some portion into that.
Okay.
yeah, I think, when we first came up with that list of properties, they were 150, 300,000. Now those properties are 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, it's so I think they are considering a fund like that.
That's good, yeah.
And there was a good presentation on the open space fund at the EAC conference, and I took some notes, and I asked the guy specifically, I said, could we use the open space fund money that we get for developing the trail plan? And he said, yes, it should be applicable. So,
Good.
that would be a nice benefit.
Any further discussion or motion?
As you unplug your thing, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?